We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Bob. Bob has recently moved and now has his theater at one end of a 16 by 32 by 8 foot room with an open staircase on one end. He has a Pinnacle digital sub 600 subwoofer that has served him well in his previous room, which was probably a heck of a lot smaller than this. But since he's moved it and he's noticed it's not sounding right when playing things like explosions or other heavy bass, sometimes even sounding like it's clipping. He asks, is it upgrade time? To which we have, of course, say yes. It's probably not clipping. It shouldn't be. It has an anti-clipping something.
Yeah, maybe not clipping, but maybe it's reaching
distorting.
its limits. I would 100% believe that.
Yeah, it's distorting. It's coming. It's right there at the limit of what it can do. I totally believe that.
Or you're hearing some flappy port noise. That could be very possible.
Yeah. Port noise too, or there's a Lego in there. If you have kids, there could definitely be a Lego in there.
Or is this a sealed sub?
No, it's a sealed sub. It is a sealed sub. I'm joking. All right, so in looking for a new sub, he's been auditioning the Yamaha J112. It sounds good, but doesn't give him the tactile feel he's looking for. I did not look this one up. What is the 112, and is it big enough, Rob?
No, it's a 12-inch driver sub. Yamaha isn't really known for making huge subs anyway.
Yeah. All right.
This is not going to do it. Just the room itself is over 4,000 cubic feet. Then he says he has an open stairway going upstairs, so it's infinity cubic feet as far as we're concerned. Can you put a door on one or the other end of that stairway? Because that would really help.
Is this a basement? It's a room. It just says room. It doesn't say basement.
This is a stairway.
But that could be a stairway upstairs for all we know.
Yeah, that's right.
From the ground floor. Okay. Anyways, he's going to be returning that one and looking for something better. He plans to buy one new sub now, another one next summer. So he's looking at HSU and SVS and leaning towards HSU VTF-3 MK5 Will it give him the thump in his chest the Pinnacle and the Yamaha couldn't? Or could he go for a pair of smaller subs and get the same effect? Answer to that question is no. Would a pair of HSU VTF-3 MK5s or SVS PB2000s or PC2000s do the job, or would we need to step up to something like the PC12 Plus? Dude, you need to step up to the Ultras. To be honest with you, you're thinking way too small for the amount of air.
The one you were leaning towards is in terms of value, that's the highest value one for the kind of output you're looking for. Now, if you were contained to just the 4,000 cubic feet, then maybe you don't need VTF-15 Mark IIs, because those can nicely pressurize 5, maybe even 6,000 cubic feet.
Yeah.
But since you got that stairway going upstairs, you need all you can get and then some. So in terms of the highest value for maximum output, you were leaning the right way. I'd point you right at HSU.
Yeah, I agree completely. You could look at Power Sound Audio as well. They're going to cost more. For
sure.
But they will... They will be able to give you something that will crush your space. This is a good question. First of all, you need to tell everybody exactly how many million cubic feet you're pressurizing with this. Because if it's, and whether or not a door is even an option. Because believe me, a door is a heck of a lot cheaper than the amount of subwoofers that we're about to tell you to buy. Now, we can get you you spend the least amount, but you are then not only pressurizing where you are, you're pressurizing all the way up the stairs and whatever the heck it's open to up there. So, just be aware of that. It might just be easier to put a door at the bottom of the staircase here.
Or at the top of the staircase. That would also be fine.
That would be fine.
Yeah, because if you can get yourself closer to that 4,000 cubic feet, he was saying he'd prefer to spend maybe $750 for this subwoofer if you could get away with it. And the HSU VTF-15 Mark II is more expensive than that.
Yeah.
On its own, it's $900, and then there's shipping on top of that. He's saying he's willing to go that high if he needs to. But if there is a way to confine this room, it's still a big room, but if you can get it down to that 4,000 cubic feet instead of having the wide open stairway, the VTF-3 Mark V, and they have an HP on the back of there for high power, but the VTF-3 Mark V, it's a little over $750, but it would absolutely be appropriate for a 4,000 cubic foot room, and it would bring the price down. It uses the same driver and the same amp as the VTF-15H. It just has a slightly smaller box.
So think of it this way: you're going to save yourself somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 on dual subs.
That's right.
How much do you think it's going to cost to have a door installed?
That's right.
And that's how much you can. That's how much you're going to put in your pocket after.
Yeah, it can be a split
this.
pocket door. You know, you got the split door with the 2 hinges. The bifold there. So yeah, just something to seal in that room will help you tremendously. And then I'd point you right to the VTF-3s, because I think in terms of value, you can't beat that. And yeah, to get that tactile hit you in the chest feeling, you have to pressurize the air. That is physical air moving against your body. That's what gives you that knock the wind out of you type of feeling. There's no way to replicate that without displacing the air. You must do it. And a whole bunch of small subs. I mean, eventually you could get enough small subs to displace the same amount of air as one really large one. But having multiple subs doesn't tremendously increase the pressure. You get about 3 decibels more, which is not nothing, but it's not nearly as much as you might think by having 2 small
and you
ones
just
versus
can't
1 big one.
Take a bunch of these pinnacle subs, which, by the way, are completely inadequate for this room.
Right.
They're inadequate for half of this room, really. And, well, not half. I'm being facetious there. But you can't just take 100 of those things and shove them in here. Maybe 100 would do it, but it would take something ridiculous like that to make these subs be able to do it, and you're still not going to get the amount of really low frequency that you're going to get out of the HSU. So you need a sub. When you're saying, okay, I can either buy 2 subs, but they're much smaller, or 1 sub that can actually do the job. Well, you actually need 1 sub that can do the job and another sub that can do the job as well. You don't need 2 subs that can't do the job, because guess what? They can't do the job. They can't do it alone. They can't do it together. It's like trying to get my kids to fix a car. It doesn't matter how many kids I got. They're never going to get the car fixed. It's not happening.
Keep throwing kids at it.
Just throw some more children at it. That fixes all the problems. Just look at Halloween. All right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.